Hey there, YouTube audience. Welcome back to Nerd Word Order with another interesting video. I've got a special guest here today.
Twitter handle at CMSpade. You can just call me Spade or underscore because there's an underscore somewhere in there.
So, today is going to be another one of our late to the party videos. Suicide Squad's been out for a while now, but we're going to finally get around to saying our piece on it. Not that we have a lot to say as well as spoiler territory, but we are going to say spoiler territory up front, just in case everything we cover does kind of dive over into that side of things. So, first off, what did you think of it? Just getting right into it, what was your overall thought?
The first quarter of it really flowed nicely. I started out reading comics by reading graphic novels, and something like that, a big team up, it had a great build up in terms of how they all got there. The Flash cameo spoilers for Captain Boomerang was just, that looked like something that would just be in a panel somewhere, and it flowed so nicely for about the first, I'd say, 30 or so minutes of the movie.
First 30 so minutes, and I agree with that. It flows really well. It looks nice. It's that the composition to all the sequences, they just kind of go along. You get the locations there. Everything feels like, all right, back and forth between good guys and bad guys in a comic book. So I definitely agree with that. Another thing is not just the cameos by the Flash, but the Batman cameos. The amount of Batman footage in this film is quite surprising, really, because we already had so much of him with Dawn of Justice, and I love that. That was great. Dawn of Justice, lots of Batman, awesome. But we got a lot more Batman, and I like that too.
Oh yeah, I really feel like, they're pushing forward because they know that Affleck was the best part of Dawn of Justice. So they knew that in advance almost. So they were already shooting his scenes, and they're just like, no, we're going to put Batman in fucking everything.
Everything, everywhere. And that was fine. I felt like, well, a lot of people were upset with the amount of Joker we got. The amount of Joker we got into comparison with the amount of Batman we got was great. I felt like that was a good balance. Do we feel like that chase scene was something trying to allude to the Joker killed Jason Todd, or?
That was what we had heard early on, but of course they didn't really, other than the little spot with Harley's introduction at the beginning of the movie involved with the death of Robin or the murder of Robin, you never really see or hear anything else in a reference to Jason Todd, but the fact that the suit shows up in Dawn of Justice, it seems like that wound still may be a little more fresh than implied before.
And they definitely implied that the Joker and Harley, while they are the king and queen of Gotham as far as crime, they're the most recent king and queen. So, they are fairly recently doing this. Exactly. Now, Suicide Squad takes place just after the final bad guy is caught, so to speak, that can piece this team together. And at least two of those members are caught by Batman. We've got another one caught by another Justice League member, not introduced in the story yet, but obviously we know who that is, Flash.
Right.
Other than that, though, not too much Justice League tease. I was really expecting maybe just a little bit more, because this is a team-up movie.
I was expecting a little more of it, but at the same time, Justice League was not formed. At the time of Dawn of Justice, he just was getting all the information together. So they're just like, we gotta stop somebody who's like Superman.
Yes.
Whereas, Batman and Wonder Woman are trying to find metahumans, not just people like Superman. They're looking for something specific. They have the files. Whereas in Suicide Squad, it's just, what if Superman decided to kill the president?
And that brings us to another great point about this movie, and I think that's where things start to kind of change direction. And we go from that great momentum we had in the beginning, this awesome comic book come to life, turns to something else. Because the premise of this movie is, what happens if the next Superman is a terrorist? Or, what would happen if Superman came down and took the president out of the White House? We need a team that could stop Superman. We don't get that. No, Suicide Squad at its most badass is mildly annoying to a character whose plot is as generic as possible. We have a literal doomsday weapon, which is a mechanical weapon. I mean, it's magically built, but it's a mechanical weapon.
Right, and it's just nothing. It's nothing.
We get a whole lot of build-up to a big, bad nothing. Now, just throwing this out there immediately, I would have thought, why not make the Joker the bad guy?
It worked in Assault on Arkham for the most part. I mean, he was more or less the villain. I mean, there was really nobody else other than Riddler at the beginning and all that. But yeah, Joker could have easily been. And I thought that's the route they were going originally, until I started hearing more and more about June Moon and Enchantress as the movie came closer. You know, people test screenings had seen it and all that, so spoilers came out at that point. But yeah, I was expecting Joker, especially with how they were publicizing him so much and putting so much emphasis on Harley. But then now we know it was just a marketing ploy for the most part.
And do we feel like it was false advertising to an extent? Do you feel like they advertised a completely different Joker movie that we didn't get?
No, I don't believe that motherfuckers should be getting up off of their seats and suing people because of this. There is an incident going on right now. There's a lawsuit against Warner right now, two brothers or whatever. I don't think people should be suing, but at the same time, there was a little bit of misleading. But it's kind of what entertainment does these days.
To an extent, we kind of expect some level of misleading, and it comes especially with big budget superhero movies. There's always a promise of the perfect comic book story come to life, and seldom does that promise get delivered on. But this was something completely different. We got teased a lot of even just trailer footage, like Joker's scarred face, burned scarred face. Never got that.
Never got it.
And I'm kind of a little bit shocked and annoyed by that, because that specifically is speaking to cosmetic damage to the character that would obviously have to be addressed in the movie and then addressed again later. So it seems like they built up on that, gave you the idea, oh, he's going to get cosmetically damaged here in the movie, and then nothing.
Nothing happens. Just the Joker, the whole Joker thing just became a disappointment. Then what we ended up seeing was just not... A lot of people, couldn't get over the cosmetics. But at the same time, he really did not come off like a Joker to me. Any Joker that I've read or seen in other movies or seen in anime series or seen in video games, this is Grand Theft Auto Joker, essentially.
And I could agree with that. So there's another shortcoming of the movie. Unfortunately, Jared Leto's Joker, he had a lot to go on, and he had a lot of different ways he could go. And while the look could almost be acceptable as, hey, it's new, unique, awesome. Now, pick an archetype as far as Joker to go along with that, and you'd be fine. But instead, you tried to mismatch things. Really, could you think of 2 or 3 big Joker pieces he tried to pull together there, maybe?
I'm thinking there might have been a little flash of Jack Nicholson in there.
Yeah, a little bit of Jack Nicholson.
Definitely.
Definitely felt like they tried to play on the menacing aspect of the Killing Joke and the Joker comics. Those ones where they really focus on how he treats his henchmen. Because there's a lot of good scenes in the movie where the Joker is treating his henchmen how you'd expect. And I say good with almost kind of a hesitation to it, because while they're good Joker scenes, overall I didn't like the scenes. I didn't feel like they added anything to the movie.
Nothing. It was just there for the people who paid their good money to see Jared Leto, yeah. And I was assuming it's Leto. Yeah, that's what I've been saying. I mean, either way, Jared Leto as the Joker. For those who paid to see that, first of all, you're going to be sorely disappointed, but I guess you'll be happy with whatever you get. What is it, the 8 to 10 minutes he's on screen?
8 to 10 minutes he's on scene, so almost Darth Vader in Empire Strikes Back level stuff here. Or wait, no, I'm sorry, New Hope. Not Empire Strikes Back. Empire Strikes Back's got a lot more screen time. Anyways, but you don't get a lot of him, and what you do get feels out of place. It's in place at certain points in the story, but the flashbacks certainly do not feel in place. They feel really rushed. Specifically, I believe the part of the comic they were trying to capture, well, it wasn't even a comic, it was from the old Batman animated series. It was specifically the Mad Love episode.
The Mad Love scene, yes.
They tried to recapture the Mad Love sequence, and it could have went right, but it didn't go so right.
It was like a weird EDM remix of the Mad Love scene is what it seemed like, especially just the whole visual of, like, the visual aspect of Suicide Squad was interesting, to say the least, but at certain times it was a little bit jarring and a little bit much.
Yeah.
Like the intro scene, that shit was perfect.
That was spot on.
All the colors, the drawings and all that, the different print and all that was nice to look at, but then after a while it just got to where it just looked a little weird, a little childish almost.
Now, on that thought, would you like to have seen the darker Suicide Squad we would have gotten just one rough cut prior, even?
I feel like that movie would have touched more on Joker and Harley, and maybe even made Leto's performance look a little better in our eyes.
It's possible.
Because if we're going with a darker path, obviously we're getting more into Joker and what he does. Because they shot a lot of footage for him, but a lot
Enough
of
to make a whole standalone film, if need be.
And half of that's probably going to be on the cutting room floor, the other half will be Blu-ray extras.
Yeah. Okay, now before we completely just beat this movie into the ground, which unfortunately it really feels easy to do that, and I don't entirely blame that on the movie, and that's where I want to get into the first of the strong points, is the meta, self-awareness almost, sequences of the movie. The fact that the Suicide Squad members themselves call it out right there at that almost midway point and say, well, everyone's going to blame us. We're the bad guys,
Exactly.
And it felt like that, in a way, was kind of talking about the movie itself. If the movie goes bad, just blame the character actors. It's easy to say that a movie that has Will Smith in it did bad because Will Smith is a main character.
Exactly.
This was not that case. This was not After Earth. This was not, just some random other Will Smith is playing Will Smith in the movie instead of playing his character. He actually played Deadshot really well.
This is Bad Boys Will Smith.
This is Bad Boys Will Smith. So this is him getting paid to actually act, which is nice. I like that. It's nice seeing him really actually sell a character.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone else really stand out?
Margot Robbie's performance as Harley Quinn to me didn't stand out, but it wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be.
Expected a train wreck.
After she was in Wolf of Wall Street, and she can do that accent and that voice perfectly, and the fact that she kind of half-assed it in Suicide Squad, the character she should be doing that voice and accent for, you don't get that here. But at the same time, if we're talking New 52 Harley, it was really a good representation of that particular Harley.
Yeah.
That's why, to me, the Mad Love part was good. It was a nice little visual thing, but at the same time, it was a little out of place because you can't see New 52 Harleen in the Mad Love situation. That's completely
No, this was not the
Harley.
right Harley to have in that Mad Love situation. This was not Harleen Quinzel that we have from Batman the Animated Series. This is the New 52 Suicide Squad Harley. And that's fine. She did well in the movie. She fit in well with the team. We got to see highlights of just how violent and crazy she could be.
Oh, yeah.
I like the character. Another real kind of blowout character, and I mean that almost in a punny way, is El Diablo.
El Diablo was a
He's
huge
explosive.
surprise.
Oh my god.
Literally.
I love that performance because there's a character they clearly set up to be a trump card later in the movie. From the very first moment he says, I'm not going to raise a hand and do a single thing. All right, well, obviously he's doing something big. And spoilers, it's very big. I don't want to get into it super specifically. I will say it's my favorite action sequence of the movie. I like that better than any other point. And it's just because I feel like unless you really dig that character or did your homework to see what that character could do at top potential, you're not seeing that surprise coming.
Visually, it was the most stunning thing in the movie visually. I mean, just, that was another thing. It kind of came back to that whole I'm reading a graphic novel feel because just that particular design, that figure, I could see straight out of a page in DC.
Straight out of a DC panel, and that's perfect. You don't ever see quite an iconic thing like that. Even with the Christian Bale Batman, the Zack Snyder Superman or Watchmen. These characters, while being iconic and look like they could fit in a comic world, they don't feel like comic book characters come to life.
Exactly.
However, specifically this time around, we've got that actual spot-on representation. It feels like they've come to life.
And I'm loving every second of it. So,
Love it.
Good or bad, honestly, I am on board with anything DC does from this point on because at least it'll look great.
At least it'll look great. So from a visual standpoint, yes, I can agree with that. Anything that DC throws out there at this point, as long as they keep this as a gold standard, you have to do at least as well as Suicide Squad. They're probably going to be safe going forward. They're not going to beat Marvel, but they don't need to beat Marvel.
No.
They just need to have movies to compete. They just have to say they're even trying at this point.
Exactly. At this point, people are just looking, even if it's bad, they're just looking for an alternative to Marvel because I'm a DC fan for the most part.
Absolutely.
So seeing them succeed, even if the movie is kind of shitty, it's whatever. I'll throw my money at you to make some shitty movies as long as they make some money and I can go see, you know, eventually maybe even a Bat Family film or a Titans film or something like that.
How great would that be to see a Bat Family or even a Titans film? And I'd love a Titans film.
A Titans film would be something that I don't think I'm mentally ready for, but I sure want to see it.
Okay, so quick letter grade. What are we gonna give it?
Suicide Squad, I'm probably going to give a C+.
C plus.
A C+.
I would give it a solid C. Neither C plus or C minus. I want to give it absolutely in the middle. The parts that stand out in the film really stand out. The parts that stand out as really bad in the film, unfortunately, really stand out. I think just bringing it all together and coming back to it, the best and worst thing I can say about this movie is my wife's opinion of it. Suicide Squad looks like it was made for TV. This is the kind of movie I expect to see on TNT. Everything that it feels like could have been great there was cut out. All of the bloody, gory, possible Suicide Squad things that we would expect are gone, and what we have is a very almost teenage or kid-friendly environment.
Generation X.
Generation
We're looking
X.
at here.
This is what we're looking at. I agree with
Jesus,
it.
Generation X.
All right, again, Nerd Word Order.
CM Spade.
If you liked the video, guys, go ahead and like, share, and do me a big favor and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll have more of these videos up to you soon. Take care.